Hello, friends. My name is Maximus, and I'll be your dungeon master for the evening. I'd like to welcome you all to the 33rd episode of Caches and Cantrips, where some of your favorite streamers play Dungeons and Dragons live on Friday nights. I'm joined by the amazing cast of Bunny Dreadful, Mac and Cheese Please, Virtual Spectre, and Moves Like Jagger from the GGN crew. It took me a second because I have the episode at the top correct, but in my little intro script it's not right. I was like, wait, that's not the right episode number.
The script?
Ooh. Oh yeah.
Wow, professional.
Yeah, look at this guy over here.
Hold on, did you hit record?
Didn't know about the script?
I did.
Oh,
see,
wait,
hit record. Look at this.
Show's scripted?
What a
I have-
show.
The show is scripted?
Matt, is that you? Hi? Yeah.
Yeah, is the show scripted? What?
Shit.
It's not real. Oh man, no, I even have a checklist too that I go through that I don't always follow because I don't know, I'm weird, but you know what? That's fine because you'll have to deal with it. First things first. I hope you all enjoyed our costume episode last week. I thought it was super fun. I really enjoyed everyone's awesome costumes. But we're back to normal.
It's so much more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though those were fun.
I can
One
wear
thing,
the
though-
cape, but I can't wear the wig. No way.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of locks all the heat in.
Oh yeah.
So first thing is we have over 500 views on our podcast now. Yay!
Yay!
Thanks for
Awesome.
everybody listening to us. I don't know what else go with that. Thanks for doing that. If I was gonna list it here, but I don't know where my button is. But yeah, you should listen to the podcast. Is it in here? We'll hit a button. It'll be in the description if you're watching this later. Yeah, there you go, podcast. So if you haven't already, you can listen to that. The episodes come out Tuesday as well as our VODs, by the way. And those release Tuesday at noon, unless you are a patron to our Patreon, which I do have a thing for that, which is right here. Boop. If you subscribe to our Patreon, if you do the Patreon, you can have access to tiers that let you get the podcast early, as well as the VOD early. And there's even a tier where you can design your own NPC to use in the game. And I will let you all know when you find one of them.
I was gonna say we haven't met one yet, though, right?
It's a big world.
Dang it.
It's coming. It's coming. Let's see. Okay. What else did I have to say? Oh yeah, also we have merch from Interlink Designs. We have this nice coffee mug and some other things. So if you want to see what we got out there, go take a look. Basically anything that you do that throws money our way helps improve the show. So finding really cool maps and some music and all other stuff. So I appreciate everybody who supports this. And also, if this is your first time listening or watching, any on-stream alerts and stuff, we see them in chat and we very much appreciate it, but I turn all the bells and whistles and sound effects off so we keep the immersion going for the stream. But without any further ado, any of y'all have anything that you wanted to add to that?
Nope.
I had something I was thinking about, but then I forgot it. It doesn't
okay.
matter. Yeah.
It'll come to you
Okay.
when you least expect it.
That is also true.
Oh, do you wanna never mind.
Got you. I guess I don't. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get settled in then for tonight's episode of Casters and Cantrips. Our story last left off with Sweet Justice waking up at the Grey Jug Inn after the ball held at the Duchess's estate the night before. They finished up their business in Isgarth and prepared to set sail with capital procurement the next day at first light. After boarding the ship to Mora's favor, I wrote that one down this time, The group got a quick crash course in their scavenging operations and what would be expected of them. After a couple days of sailing, the crew saw a strange occurrence that was familiar to some of the members, where there was a severed hand grasping a net floating in the Cantrips Sea. After pulling the hand onto the deck, it seemingly came to life, scrambling across the deck and made its way towards Vin. Strangely, it didn't attack Vin. It immediately began rummaging through her pack. But the crawling hand was quickly dispatched by a swing of Ron's mace, splatting it on the deck, with Skullbreaker disposing of the lifeless hand back into the sea. After 3 total days of sailing, they made it to the center of the Cantrips Sea, where a large portion of the previous naval battle took place. Sweet Justice, along with the other crew from the ship, dove into the sea at depths over 100 feet, looking and rummaging around the wreckage, trying to find treasures. Unfortunately, they disturbed a huge hulking crab while they were looking through the wreckage. After a tense battle, the remaining crustaceans fled, but during the battle, several of the crew members that were diving with the group were carried off by Sahuagin riding sharks. Sweet Justice pursued the creatures to a large open hole in the sea, surrounded by a kelp forest. The party was ambushed by more Sahuagin, but ultimately they fled deeper into this hole, and the party followed, trying to find the lost companions. In the dark caverns underneath the seafloor, they encountered strangely transformed humanoid creatures, but they were easily defeated. As they explored these caverns, they found a large opening that contained several wrecked ships and other treasures. Strangely enough, the cavern only contained knee-deep water, and the rest of the water from the sea was being magically repelled from entering this open space. They saw several people locked in cages as they explored this cavern. Ultimately, one of these humans locked away was a sea hag in disguise. The group had wandered into a coven of sea hags, and they had been ambushed. After a tense battle, the leader of the coven escaped. But while she was escaping, the hag dismissed whatever magic was keeping the seawater at bay, and the cavern began rapidly filling with water. Some scrambled to save the prisoners, while others dashed for loot. Ultimately, it was Bryn left in the chamber, trying to free the last 2 prisoners. After rummaging around and using a Ramcrown magical device to blow the cage door open, the prisoners were set free. Unfortunately, they were all out of time. Bryn and the prisoners began to drown before reaching the surface. Falcon quickly procured another water-breathing potion and dove into the water. Given the choice of who to save, Falcon jammed the water-breathing potion into Bryn's mouth, forcing the liquid down her throat and gaining the magical properties of breathing underwater once again, and thus saving her from her inevitable death. And that is where we'll begin our session this evening. Bryn, unconscious on the deck of Tamora's favor, but stable, and the rest of you gathered around her.
Oh
Bryn?
man.
Bryn! I'm like shaking Bryn.
Is there Ron? Did you heal her or something?
Yes, Ron still has very little energy, but Ron can do this. And Ron will heal Bryn with his last 5 points of lay on hands.
That is enough to do it with the radiant healing, or the divine healing from Ron. These hit points are able to bring you back to consciousness.
5
you-
hit points.
As you start choking up. Yes.
I'm gonna spit some water up on Valkian.
Wow, that's
where am I? Am I
impressive
dead?
range.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it just.
Bryn, what were you thinking?
Where are they? Did you get them? The others.
They,
Did I save them?
Bryn, there are no others.
As you look around on the deck and kind of become aware of your surroundings, you see everyone huddled around you, all soaking wet from being in the sea. But just a few feet over, you see the lifeless bodies of Ivy as well as Joseph, dead, the ones that you had tried to save.
No, 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 no. Ron, did you heal them? Did you try to heal them yet?
Ron is sorry, Bryn, but there's nothing Ron can do.
But I had them. We were almost out.
Well, Bryn, honestly, all three of you did not make it. But Valken saved you.
Oh, I don't think you, Valken. I don't. The other guy, the man that you brought out, did he make it? The first one out. Is he here? Did I see him? There was like another dude that didn't have water breathing that they got out first.
Yep, you see Undil, the male hill dwarf, in similar fashion as you, kind of coughing up seawater on the deck with a couple of the other crew members attending to him. You see Victoria, the leader of capital procurement, walking over to the deck, checking on Undil, shaking her head as the two lifeless crew members, and then looking over at you all. And she says, "Well, what the fuck happened?"
Yeah, I tried to save them. I did everything I could.
There were complications.
What do you mean complications?
When we reached the bottom, we finally found ourselves surrounded by giant crabs. And then Sawagan came with sharks and started attacking the crew and kidnapping it. So Man and Crab told us to follow, so we chased Sharks and Sawagan into underwater cavern, where we found three hags who were capturing all the crew members.
Well, that explains why we couldn't find you. As when Billwater came up, we looked underneath and, well, we couldn't find the cavern that you had gone to. What do you mean by hags, plural?
Three sisters. Rose,
Killed. How many?
grotesque.
Wait, how many did we kill? 2?
Ron's like patting Bryn on the back to get all the water out.
This also hits
One got
Valken.
away. We don't know where.
One got away.
One
We
got
have
away.
to go back. We have to go kill her.
Bryn, we don't know where she went. She
We
could have
can't
been
just leave her
anywhere.
down there to kill more people.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll be able to find her. Do you have enough supplies, enough water breathing for all of us to search like that?
No, we had maybe enough for, well, 2 dives, but we used one, and then a couple more for, well, this one's rescue attempts. But
Bryn,
not even 2, actually.
She's going to kill more people.
Bryn, they're gone. They're not there anymore. They disappeared. We have to let it go.
There's not much more we can do, Bryn. We almost lost you. Ron does not want to lose you again.
Yeah, we're all pretty beat up. That was a rough fight.
You see kind of Victoria just looking over the deck and just looking back over at Ivy and Joseph. Fuck! Can you believe that this one? And she points to Joseph, who's early 20s, late teens. This is first time. Can you fucking believe that? Your first time and you go like that. Shite!
How old is he? Look.
18. The woman looks like late 20s. I haven't
They,
lost anyone in months. And even then it was a freak occurrence.
I'd say this is another freak occurrence then. Not often you run into 3 powerful magic fish ladies. I don't know what they were.
She looks at Undhill. What you doing? You know better. Getting taken like that. She's staring daggers through him. Shite.
It is no one's fault. These are dangerous waters. And this is the Sawagan shark, other creatures' territory. Dangerous business.
What about the crab? Did you not defend them? What were you doing, Bilbar? Well, you see that they were a lot faster than, well, the crab. I couldn't really keep up, unfortunately.
Hey, he tried. He tried. We all tried, okay? Everyone tried their hardest to save them. Nobody wanted this.
Well, I sure as fuck didn't. You got that right. I'm just...
Maybe you should stop blaming people and question why the treasure down there is so important to you. And then I'm gonna get up and storm off after coughing up a little bit more water that also splashes on Velcan.
She just kind of watches you go, and then you pass by the gnome that you all saved that wasn't part of the crew. And he's kind of like taking inventory of what he has on him, what's soaking wet and what's salvageable. He's a very old, like several hundred years old rock gnome. He's got kind of curly gray hair, a round face, and like a short gray goatee. Kind of soft pink skin, with really bright blue eyes. And he just looks in your direction, and he says, "Well, I thanks you for saving me, by the way. I've been down there almost a week."
Who are you? How did you get captured?
Well, the name's Felver Felbin. You can call me Felver.
Felbin?
Felver Felbin.
Felver Fel. Can you spell that for us?
I'll put a note to you all.
Thanks. Felver Felbin. Well, at least something good happened in all this mess. Saved someone named Felver Felbin.
Well, you see that I hate to say kind of a crew, it's more of my own enterprise, but you're familiar with Tide Creeper?
No.
And he kind of pulls out a bag in his pack. It's like soggy, and he kind of lays it out on the deck, and it's this weird kind of circular like plant. It kind of looks like a Venus flytrap, but not really. Very strange. You know, like the Tide Creeper or the water wheel plant kind of floats on the surface.
Like a lily? Lily pad?
Kind of, but it's carnivorous.
Huh?
It eats things like live things, small live things.
And why would you have this in your pocket?
Well, like, that's what I get. I go out here and I get it, and sometimes I sell some of it, sometimes I use some of it. And you got a way to heat this up real quick? And he's just pointing to everyone over at the kind of plant that he has laid out on the deck.
Vin?
Wait, we want to eat this? Is that what we're doing?
No. Just dry it out for me. I'll show you.
How dry are we talking?
Dry? Bone dry?
Burnt dry or like crispy? Like
Well, not burnt, but
I need
dry.
to
No
know.
moisture left.
Okay, and I don't know if I have anything to cast that will like not obliterate it. So I'll just like okay, I'll give him like a snarky look. That's kind of like, you could have done this yourself, idiot. And I'll light a torch and like put it near it and roast it slowly.
Oh, well, all my torches are, well, gone or soggy. I thought you were gonna do some sort of heebie-jeebie magic thing or some sort of. It's all right. It's all right. I'll take it. And he kind of just dries it out, and you will just look at an uncomfortable amount of time as he's drying this stuff out until all the moisture is gone. He kind of pulls like a pan out of his pack and just looks like he's cooking it. He's like, you don't eat it.
Eat this. Are you sure you have a pan? You have all these utensils. I don't
Well,
want
this
to
is for
eat
the
that.
fish when you catch it, so I can stay out here longer. If I had the boat, but the boat's gone.
Wait,
All
do you
right,
want to
hold on.
stay out here after all this has happened?
Yeah, we are.
Well, not now. The
back?
boat's gone. It's just bad luck.
Well,
All right.
Ron would say this is worse than bad luck.
He kind of takes the dried out plant, not quite crispy, but kind of gets a mortar and pestle and starts crushing it up. And he just pulls out this ostentatious, like meerschaum pipe, that is kind of carved to look like a head of a dragon at the end of it. And he puts some of the crispy plant in it and lights it up and starts smoking it. And he takes a couple of puffs from it, and you see him go, "Huh!" and he disappears.
What?
The fuck?
Fever?
Regis
wait.
open.
You wait about 30-40 seconds, and he appears back and goes, "Oh, all right.
What did you do?
What just happened?
Well, when you smoke this, first it paralyzes you, and then you turn invisible."
Why?
How long do you stay
Why would you do
invisible
this?
for? No, run. Wait. You're telling me you smoke this thing and you go invisible for 30 seconds?
But
Give or
paralyze.
take, yeah.
Very important part. Then you get to paralyze.
Yeah, you're right. Not as useful as I was thinking. Unless we could... No, that wouldn't work. Okay. You're right. Go on, Ron. You're smarter than me.
Oh no, but no, being paralyzed is not good.
Well, it only lasts just a little bit, and what's even better is, the first part's very short lasting, but the other part's very long lasting. You see that whenever you partake in the Tide Creeper, really relaxes you, takes the edge off.
Wait. Okay. I need to know a little bit more without... So how long does the paralyzing last, and how long does the invisibility last?
Oh, just no more than 30 seconds or so.
For each.
All in one. Happens at the same time.
And then afterwards, you just feel relaxed?
Well, you can try it. It's safe.
Bryn's gonna smack it out of his hand.
Oi!
You mean to tell me that you were down there because you were out here farming recreational stuff, and you almost died for it?
Well, it's my job. I sell some of it. I gotta make a living.
Other people died because we had to save you first. That took us time. You should not be out here. And now I'm actually gonna really storm off. Now you can pick up the drugs if you really want.
But if someone was interested in this, is it expensive? Can I just have some for later?
Well,
or-
it just depends on where you buy it. I mean, if you're well
I'm
in the
talking about
kingdoms.
right now.
Oh, well, that's all I got. I'll share it.
I'm not talking about sharing. I'm just talking about putting some in my sack for later.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna let you walk away from it unless you try some of it.
Oh, well, I look over at Bryn, Balkan, and Ron, and I'm just like,
Bryn's walked away now, but if you do catch her eye, she's just staring daggers like,
Is Bryn just off on another corner of the ship, or is she going somewhere?
I'm just gonna go to like the front of the ship. Kind of like I'm king of the world area, but I'm definitely not feeling like king of the world right now.
Okay.
what if
Ron's
I...
gonna check on Bryn while Vin is deciding whether she wants to do this or not.
We're gonna remove the morally black and white characters from your vicinity so that you can make whatever poor life decisions you so choose.
What if I gave you a gold for it. Not to try right now, but for later.
Oh, I mean, that's fine. If you don't want anything, that's totally fine. Just takes the edge off. Makes you notice things a little better. You know? Lets you kind of relax in your own headspace.
See, I want it. I just don't want it right now. I'm thinking some other uses for it. You know? So that's why I'm willing to not have it at this current time, but give you 1 gold for it.
Sure, well, if you're sure you just want to try some of it, I'll just give you half. You don't have to pay me or anything.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we kind of shared a life experience together. I mean, you all saved my life, so it's the least I can do.
True. That is true. I was like, don't tell the others. And I look at Valken and I'm like, don't narc.
Valken's been laying down on his back with his eyes closed in pain, just like barely paying attention to what's going on around him.
Yeah, I actually don't think Bryn's in good shape because 5 healing points probably didn't do a lot for me.
Some of y'all are fucked up.
We're all fucked up.
Yeah, we need to sleep.
He kind of just takes half of it and just kind
You
of
just see
puts it.
Valken's like, do whatever.
And I'll put it in my inventory for later.
Yeah,
My
you
sack.
have 3 doses of, or just 3. I don't know how to put it. Things.
Servings.
3 servings of Tide Creeper. You can just throw that in there, and then you will know. I'll give you all the specifics after, well, whenever you use it.
It'll come in handy when
If
we
you use
dine
it.
and dash later.
So just make sure that whenever you've got to make sure it's fairly dry, no moisture at all, and then you kind of crush it up into little tiny pieces, and then you just put it into a pipe, and then you light it up. It's
Can it
harmless.
be
Only lasts about
rolled?
1 to 4 hours, give or take.
Okay.
But you're only invisible and paralyzed for 30 seconds or so.
Gotcha. That is good to know. And I this in my inventory.
If you happen to find any more, or if you're out and about in the ocean, just just let me know. I'll buy it off of you. I usually set up shop in Last Chance or so. A little crowded right now, though.
Oh, what?
What's wrong? What's happening at Last Chance? Oh no, I'm not even here. Sorry.
It's like someone who's there, please ask.
What's happening in Last Chance?
Well, I mean, the Vantis army is sort of sallied forth over the Know on the Bridge, and
shit.
they are kind of protecting their interests there. And, well, Last Chance being a day away, a lot of them take to some of the finer things in life, so they don't have to sleep in the woods and such. They come to trade, stay in the inn, buy goods. Business is booming, let me tell you.
I yell for Ron. I'm like, Ron, there's something important you need to know about. To
Do-
get someone
do I hear
to
it?
come over.
You can hear it if you want. I mean, you're on the ship, so
It's not a very big ship, right? Like,
Oh, I'll be right there.
it's got about
Ron was-
25 crew.
And I'm like tapping my foot. I'm like, hold that thought. I want my other partner to hear more about this information, so you don't have to repeat yourself.
all right.
I'm like, Ron, Ron,
Ron's like,
Ron.
okay.
yes.
Ron's trying to like go comfort Bryn, but he's like, oh god. And then goes back. What is it?
Ron, there's something happening over here that you might want to know about. Something with having to do with the Vantage Army.
What about army? What is happening?
And I like hit the guy like with my elbow, be like, go on, tell him.
He was kind of bringing out his hat with water, kind of like just a wide brim hat to keep the sun off him. Oh, I'm just the Vantis army is out, kind of sallied forth over the bridge and is hanging out between the bridge and Last Chance. And buying goods, staying in the inn, partaking in the pleasantries that a town like Last Chance can offer. Why is this important to you?
What are they at war? Is it
Well, I
a defensive
mean-
structure, or what? They're just there to be there?
Well, I mean, Vantus and Ramcrown are kind of skirmishing. There hasn't been a whole lot after what happened in Moberodin, I think is the name of the city. And they had the big, boat, incursion here. I think they're just protecting the bridge because, well, if that bridge goes down, they're kind of fucked. Only one way in, one way out after that.
So they're not letting people pass, or they are letting people pass?
I suppose that depends on what kind of flag you wave.
Really? Wouldn't they want business to their town, though? Or they're being particular?
Oh, well, Last Chance doesn't care at all who you are. This was more about the bridge.
Oh, well, Ron thinks we should be fine, Vin, because we have the thing.
Thing, okay.
Oh, you're going to Last Chance, are you? Is that your destination?
Our business is our own little one.
All right, fine. I'm just
Kidding.
making conversation. I feel like we've shared a life experience, saving my life and all. Appreciate that.
Well, then
Well-
you may thank the sweet justice from the Order of the Iberus.
All right. Is that like a wholly owned subsidiary or?
No, we are just mercenary group.
Oh, gotcha. All
I
right.
dig in my bosoms, and I hand him a business card.
Oh, they're soaking wet. Unless you put them in your
Business
backpack.
cards or bosoms?
And then I see that
The
I see
pamphlets.
that I see that all the ink is like kind of what's it called, like smearing down. I'm like, hold on 1 second, and I dig in, I find like a crayon, and I'm just like trying to fix all the letters.
That's not gonna
Here you go.
work. Just all right. Thanks.
You just handed him a hot mess.
It'll go right with all the rest of my things, and then just his backpack is just like laid out, and there's like some wet shit in there. Just like.
I look over to Ron and I whisper, and I was like, do you think this is gonna be trouble when we go to the Babas, or do you think our ferry through Asgarth, like, will go around them, or?
Oh, but we have our feathers. It should be okay.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're on the right side of everything. I don't want to fight a whole army.
Yeah, Ron doesn't know what side is the good side anymore.
So
Yeah.
I know that Rin obviously knows where the Babas are. I don't know if anybody else does.
Yeah. I don't think Ron might know vaguely because I'm sure I've mentioned them to him before.
Them Babas
And
are
we're from
nowhere
the
near
same-
Last Chance. They're way up north.
Way north.
Yeah, I know we talked about going through a ferry ride, but that was
We
about
don't
it.
actually want to. So the fastest way would be to go
We're going to Fort Winter, right?
to the river to go through Aramore, maybe, but then you'd have to go through those hills. So I think the fastest way is to go to the port at Fort Winter first.
Y'all haven't arranged anything as of yet.
Yeah,
so.
we haven't made any official plans.
So as you're
And Bryn's in
looking,
no mood to talk right this minute.
so as you're kind of looking around, the rest of the crew have kind of just taken in a moment of silence for Joseph and Ivy. The captain says a few words mostly about Ivy, since this was Joseph's first time and she doesn't really know him very well. And afterwards, you see Skullbreaker, as they've kind of wrapped them in like a hammock of sorts, tosses them over one by one into the sea.
I go up to what's her name again? The lady in charge.
Victoria, Redstream.
Victoria Redstream.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go up to her and just family. Do they have family?
Not that we know of. Most people that come out here with us don't have family.
No loved ones, friends.
Maybe so. We'll have to give them the news when we get
Well, I
back if
would,
they go looking for them.
I would like to. I could give the news if you could locate them.
All right.
I was the last one to see them alive. It is only right.
Is well, as
I'm
far
also
as I
not
know,
so convinced that you will do a very good job of making them feel comforted. No offense.
Well, for Joseph, he was more of an urchin, so good luck finding any family. To, well, comfort next to kin for Ivy, you can go ahead and comfort me then.
Oh.
I'll
Oh,
wait.
shit. Sorry. She was your...
Partner.
Oh, okay. I misspoke. I am sorry. But I want you to know that I did everything I could. And I nearly died. But I would do it again if I could bring her back to you.
I believe you. Can't hold much anger towards you and your friends. It only makes sense that you would save the one you knew the most. If it were me in your elf friend's position, I would have saved Ivy.
It
And
is
you
fair.
would have floated to the bottom.
I would have been okay with that, for the record. If, I don't know. If you want to be angry at me, though, it is okay too. Sometimes, it is good to just let it be angry.
You know I can't do that. Being the person in charge and all. I'll
Well-
grieve in my own way, in private. Gotta stay strong for the crew and all.
Understood. If there is, anything I can do, you, let me know. Or if you want to
Well-
talk to someone, I'm not very good at that, actually. But my friend Ron, he knows what it is like to lose someone close, and he's very good at listening.
I think I'll be fine. I'm just gonna stay busy. Keep the ship in order.
Understood.
See what in the hell they dragged out of the ocean. Just do my job. She makes her way over to just kind of the pile of stuff that you kind of pulled out. Starts kind of going through and inventorying things. There's a sealed chest there. A small glass orb with metal banding around it. A large pitcher of some sort. What looks to be a rope. Just a normal looking rope. And a wand made of some sort of dark wood with white leather wrappings. There's another ram crown device. And there's also a very finely detailed belt made of gray scales that sort of go from gray to white to transparent. One thing that is apparent if you take a look, looks like the same sort of fashion and way that you would make a belt like the one that you were wearing from your academy.
Who? Belcan?
Alcan's Academy?
Falcon.
Holy shit.
Same style.
Holy shit.
Whether it's from his
Oh, boy.
academy or another one, you're not for sure.
Somebody will have to show him because he's he's still collapsed on the deck.
He's just like, nope, I'm done.
He
Valkan,
seriously, he's like, my body.
that looks like to be a belt, looks like yours.
What belt?
The one you wear around your waist. At the... Or the one when we were at your school. With the dragon lady. And tiger? Serpent? No, you're serpent. Dragon, tiger? I don't remember.
Are you holding the thing, or do I?
If you're having this conversation, kind of, she's there looking at the stuff and she goes, hold on. Doesn't look like his belt at all because if I remember correctly, you negotiated information.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. I was wondering when you guys are gonna realize that you saved all that treasure for nothing.
Wait, why is it for nothing?
We aren't allowed to keep any of it. That was not the deal we made.
I thought we were allowed to keep some of it.
Uh-uh.
I look at Bryn and I look at the treasure on the floor, and I put my boot and I like swipe it off the side of the boat.
What did you swipe off? Sorry, I missed it.
The treasure that I collected, but not the treasure that Valken collected.
She won't let you do that. It's in a
That's
pile and she's going through it.
hilarious.
And she's like, hold on
You're like,
there.
if I can't have it, fuck you.
We had a deal fair and square, and if something catches your eye, perhaps we could trade. But you know, I have deadlines, I have quotas.
She's right.
Can
This was a
we-
job for. This really hurts. This was a job for information.
But can we have one thing because of the risk that we took and the lives lost? I feel like that's fair.
The lives lost, you mean the lives lost from my crew?
Exactly, yes.
Like I
Fucking
said, if
shameless.
you'd like to renegotiate something, then perhaps we can come to an agreement. But as far as I'm concerned, this is the whole, and you'll get your information.
When I look at Brandon, I'm just like, darn.
I mean, her girlfriend died and we were all alive. What the fuck do you want me to say?
You're right.
We just want to look at the belt because it belongs to his school.
So much. She's just like, yeah, but
Can we?
Belongs to his school. Looks like it belongs to me. What do you want to know about it?
We just want to look at it. We don't want to keep it.
What do I want to know?
Look with your eyes, not your hands.
Well, I guess you can look there, Valkan.
Okay, I'm looking.
But
Yep.
what if we wanted
I
to
just
touch
picture
it, though?
Valkan being like,
can
I'm
we
not
just touch
touching
it?
it.
Can we touch it though?
So, kind of like what I described, Falcon, but it's made. It's a particular in a fashion that you would wear in like traditional, like martial artists or like monk garb.
So not necessarily anything tied. It's just that style.
It's that style. As far as what it doesn't look like anything that came from your school specifically. It's just a very familiar, just type of item. You could roll a history check if you want to try and learn some more.
Sure. I am a very educated elf.
What I will do for this particular check, if anyone else would like to roll a history, you can. Valken, I'll give you advantage just because like this is some monk shit.
Yes.
Ron's really bad at history.
With advantage, I got 12.
A 12.
I'm good at history. Do you want me to roll or give you? Oh, you got advantage. Okay.
You'll have to come back from your position of anger at the front of the ship. But
Oh yeah, no, I'm staying up there. I'm angry. Not really angry.
anyone
I'm
else gonna roll and look at it, or
sit.
Ron will try.
Yeah, I'll look at it. Why not?
Oh, 16.
Uh, 18.
so Valken, you look at this belt and just kind of really looking at the intricacies that it took to sew these hide and scales into this belt for such a pattern to go from white or from gray to white to translucent. It's very finely made. It's not from your school. You can't place if it's another school. You may have seen it before, but you're not for sure. Ron, pretty similar. It's definitely some sort of monk garb from some sort of school. Not a whole lot of those where you're from, but you recognize maybe some people that you've passed in your previous travels or adventures. That, yeah, this is some monk stuff for sure. For Vin with an 18, it's not Valken schools. It definitely is another school that you have seen someone wearing or come across, but not in the Vanus Kingdom. Definitely not from any school or monastery or dojo in Vantis. So it's gonna be from elsewhere.
Would I happen to know if these waters, the creatures that we fought, like to loot and hoard treasure or anything? Or like, I guess like, cause the first question that comes to mind is like, if it's not from this kingdom, why is it here? in this.
Y'all are in
kingdom.
the middle of the ocean, so it
Gotcha.
could be, it's neighboring Vantis and Ramcrown and the Tyran region, and even at the end point, some of Salon as well. You just,
Okay. It's
You just know
around,
it's-
but
mhm.
So yeah, Falcon, as you already know, it's not from your school. You knew that though. But I've seen this somewhere. But not around Vantis. I can't put my finger on where I've seen it, but I don't know if it's important. Probably not. I don't know. I don't know why it's in the middle of the ocean.
Hard to say. Went down with a ship, maybe. I don't know.
Do you
It's
think
very
it might,
well made.
Do you think
don't
it might
know.
have something to do with your master and the special item you carry? Like, and I look over at like the other crewmates and then look back at Valken and say, do you think it could be a rival monk monastery?
You would, so you'd be able to put these pieces together, since you were at the very beginning of that naval battle. But there were two sides here, Vantis and Ramcrown. If Vin knows it's not from some sort of school in Vantis, it's from some sort of school in Ramcrown, more than likely, if it was part of this naval battle.
Because that's what they're doing, right? They're scavenging from the naval battle, essentially. Okay, that's what this ship is. They're
As you're
scavengers.
inspecting it, you are absolutely certain that it is imbued with some sort of magical power.
Ooh, get it.
Who Vin was?
It'll match his outfit
Belt.
too.
I sense that, or Vince?
Those of you that are kind of looking at it, if you're kind of inspecting and looking at this thing, it's pretty easy to determine whether something has some sort of inherent magical property to it. That part's pretty easy to tell.
Ron will detect magic, but make a mental note on what's magical to himself.
Yeah, give me 1 second and I will tell you. But yeah, definitely pings magical. Several other items as well, in that kind of group of items that you all pulled up. There is the large like pitcher, pings is magical. The glass orb, pings is magical. The seemingly mundane rope is magical. The wand is magical.
What?
The Ramcron device, as well as the belt.
So she's all pissy, but we just brought her like probably her best score yet.
You don't know.
Those hags are hoarding like really good loot.
Falcon will just say to the captain, slightly interested in the belt, so maybe once we get back to shore we can discuss trading.
Well, let's all take the rest of the day and well, recover from some of us. We can talk on the way. We've got quite a day's travel.
That
I
sounds
believe
great.
that we were going to head back to Isgarth and cut this expedition a little short. As far as like a magical school, Ron, for this belt, there's not really anything associated with it because it's not a spell or anything. But
Yeah.
the let's see. We'll leave it at that. It's helps in. We'll leave it at that because I don't want to misspeak.
Okay.
But it's magical, definitely, and it benefits whoever's wearing it. All right.
Is this the time to ask about other magical items, or should we just wait until the time is right? As I
How
look
about we take a bit of an inventory, let Bill Botter do his thing, and we'll pick it up tomorrow. It's been a hard day.
Okay. And then I say okay, and I walk away and go over to Bryn. And kind of like as a friend does when like someone's mad and like they stormed off, I like do like a butt bump at her, and I'm like leaning up against the rail with Bryn.
Oh, Bryn has such good friends. I cry.
And I whisper to Bryn, and I'm like, so some of those items that we picked up are magical.
That's great.
Come on, magic items don't cheer you up.
I mean, I do like magic items. You are right about that, but they don't bring people back.
I mean, the right magic item could bring people back. I'm just saying.
That is a pretty valid point, but it is not a call I'm willing to make for some people I don't even know.
See, you're consoling yourself. You didn't even know these people.
That's not the point, Vin. That's not the point.
Oh.
Do you know why I'm here? Do you know why I joined with the order? Do you know?
Money?
No. I mean, it is nice to be able to pay bills and eat things that don't taste like garbage, yes, but it's not why I'm here. I joined so I could help people. You know? Surely
get
you
money.
like to help. No. Yes. Technically, yes. But I was taught this magic, and I was raised to think you do when you have these abilities. Like your abilities. You use them to help people.
Yeah.
And I keep failing. I keep not helping people.
Bryn, look at all the people we've helped, and I like
Who
go
have
through
we
all the
helped?
stories.
You go through all their stories.
Well, yeah, like remember that one time all the kobolds that were going crazy, we solved that problem.
But who did we help? I guess we helped like that whole village. I suppose you're right about that, actually.
Village. And then remember that one time those people were forced to do bad things, and we got to the leader of that clan of the thieves, and we helped all those people go back to their families.
This is true.
And remember
And
that
that one guy, we got him a
time?
second chance, you know what I mean?
Second chance. We got our
We got the
friend
guy
a
from
date.
Last Chance a second chance.
Hey, see, that
Actually, I don't
cheers
think it was
you
from
up.
Last Chance.
Either way, wherever he was from, we're helping people. You can't win them all.
No, but I don't know, lately it feels like it's getting harder to help people. It feels like we're facing things we're not prepared for. What if we're just making the problem worse?
No, I think that's what makes it fun. If you knew how every fight was going to end, then what would be the point of fighting, right? You kind of do it for a little bit of
doesn't feel
thrill.
very fun for me.
Don't worry. We won't let. Well, I can't promise that. Well, this one we struck out, but we might get a I don't really know sports very well. We might not struck out. We might get a foul ball if we can
I
keep some
don't
of that loot.
understand.
I don't know either.
A bird
Listen,
with this ball.
I heard
It's-
people talking about it at one of the pubs, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but
I mean, it sounds
Listen.
fun. I like to, well.
it's an analogy. It's not literally.
Okay,
a
okay,
sport.
okay,
It
I
is
understand. I
literally a sport.
appreciate
I don't know.
that you're just trying to cheer me up. I appreciate it. Thank you. You're a very good friend.
I'm gonna turn in. Well, I guess. What time is it?
Y'all went out at first light. You went down into the ocean and you spent about an hour. So I'd say it's been 2 hours first light. It's like way early in the morning.
Oh darn it!
Jesus, feels
need to
like
sleep.
we were there for like days.
Your water breathing potion lasted an hour.
Oh.
Ron's gonna head over to Bryn as well, and just scoop her up as a do ever do that to Ron again. Ron cannot lose Bryn. Ron would be lost without Bryn.
I'm sorry. I didn't. It was. I'm sorry, Ron. I will be more careful. I just.
We,
You know how I feel.
yes.
I have to try. I have
Ron,
to try.
and Ron knows, but Ron has lost so much. Ron cannot afford to lose you.
I'm gonna do like Bryn's gonna do like the very like, you know, kind kind of toxic masculinity, like we're not gonna talk about our feelings, and I'm just gonna like punch you in the arm and like okay. Run. The captain. The girl that died was her loved one, her partner. I just thought, I know that when I have troubles, you're very good at listening to me, and maybe I told her if she needed someone to talk with, I said you might understand a little bit of what she's going through. I hope I did not speak out of turn.
No, that is fine. If the captain wishes to speak to Ron, she may. But
she probably won't. She's kind of a hard ass, and I don't think she likes us very much. But I thought it would be nice to offer at the very least.
But even though today is a sad day, we were still able to save some lives. So not all is lost.
Oh, do you mean that like little gnome guy that's really weird and trying to sell weird shit to Vin? Wait, was he a gnome? He was a gnome. Philipper Feldman's a gnome name, right?
He's a rock gnome.
Okay, I was gonna say, if that's not a gnome name, then I don't know what is.
Well, there was another person we saved too, right?
Yeah, you also saved it was Undil, the dwarf, who came down with you all.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
we saved dwarf and gnome.
Yeah, but they were just so young, Ron, you know?
Ron knows.
Anyways, I feel like shit. I'm going to sleep now.
Yes.
I'm probably going to sleep for over 24 hours. You do not need to wake me up for sustenance. I will be okay.
Okay. Well, Captain said we're going back to Icecouth, so
Okay,
Can-
well, maybe
can
just wake
just-
me up when we get there.
figure out what we do next.
I'm just gonna go steal someone's hammock and take a very, very long nap.
You all have your own.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry. I think Valk is just gonna like stay on the deck of the ship over the night and do his elf stuff out there.
It's elf things.
Yeah.
Sure. Anyone else want to
stuff
do
are you
anything, or would
doing
you all like to move it along?
We could get a full rest and then arrive in
yeah.
the evening. That would be dope. Or
Yeah, I think it's gonna take us a while to get back because we're like
Yeah.
It's
in
gonna
the
take
ocean,
3
right?
days
we really
to
need
sail
to
back to
sleep.
Icecroft.
Yeah.
So you all kind of mill around the ship after the first day. You all are worn out, tired, as you all collect your belongings. Ron, you notice that the Electrum bar is no longer in your pack.
Oh. Ron's just gonna panic search, and whoever in the team is near me, if I was gonna like hyperventilate or something.
Ron, what is it? You're looking very green.
Bryn,
Instead of blue, you know what I mean?
Bryn,
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, I'm listening. Use your words. Breathe in, breathe out.
How can
Breathe in.
Ron how can Ron say this? Our little friend is gone.
Oh shit. Okay, I will check food stores. Velkin, you check up top on the decks in the rigging. Vin, I'm gonna need you to go sneak into the captain's office. Ron, whatever I
So-
didn't cover.
What I would like you all to do is we're gonna have a little bit of a skill challenge
Oh
to
shit.
determine how you want to
She's
handle
gone.
this and how you want to try and find Mimi. So we're gonna do 3 rounds of the skill challenge. You can tell me whatever skill you want to use, but as an individual, you cannot use the same skill more than once. So just describe to me what you are going to do, and you will roll, and I will let you know whether you succeed
This
or
is
not.
bad. This captain already hates us, you guys. Like, so much.
Okay, Ron is going to sing in Elven a little song for Mimi to return to him, and he will give her lots of snacks, lots of more.
That works. Just make a performance check.
Just come on, roll a nat 20 so we can just be done with this.
Close. I rolled a 19, so
Alright.
Nice.
21.
That one is a success.
How many successes do we need, or do we not know?
You do not know at this point.
Me.
So you all will be making.
All right. Do you want me to sing the song?
Sure, go for it.
Actually, yes.
So Ron brings out his flute and gets the tone or like the key right. He's like, "A little Mimi, come to Ron. Ron will feed you more, more, more."
Amazing. Amazing. I'm so glad this is recorded. Now I am gonna cry. Oh my god.
I'm trying to find my notes, but I just cannot find them right now.
Oh, Ron has another verse. Scrumptious more food for little Mimi. Please come to Ron and not eat and kill people on the ship.
Okay, so for this one, you either you're making 12 total checks. So it
12
is going
checks,
to be
holy moly.
8 successes or 4 failures
Ooh. This is hard.
on
Okay.
my chart. Their version of it. Well,
Really hard.
Mimi is a mimic, so
Yeah, it's a really valid point. Okay.
and okay, so Ron, you have a success. Who's going next?
I'll go next. I'd like
Okay.
to do an investigation.
Does Valken even know this is going on?
Yeah, he told all of us. Yeah.
Or Vacan's on the deck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's not with us.
Oh, that's right.
Since this
That's
is a
right.
skill challenge, you're more than welcome to go gather everybody up and tell them what's going on.
Okay, we gather
that's
about
totally
Ken.
fine. All right, roll your
I want to
investigation.
do an investigation. I'm gonna go immediately to where they store the food.
Okay.
Can I use my inspiration for this?
Not after the fact. I do believe that Vin has some things that if she wanted to use to help, that could after a roll.
Didn't you get the inspiration? Oh wait,
Yeah, but I forgot to say I was gonna
do.
use it, and I forgot to say it until after I rolled like an idiot. So
I do. I have. What is that called? Oh, bend
I
of
only got
luck.
a 7. So
Okay. I will bend of luck you.
ooh. Okay.
Which is 4.
Yep. So roll on the d4.
She rolls a d4.
2.
What's your total?
9.
That is a failure. You
Oh,
look
shit.
through the food stores there, and you're rummaging around, and you don't see any sign of Mimi. Valken
Do we see if a lot of food gone missing though?
can't tell.
Valken's gonna put his ears to work and use his really good perception to see if he can hear little tiny mimic feet scurrying around the ship.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, I can do perception then.
You can.
I think that's great. 7,
7. That is a failure.
not good.
You're not picking any up a little pitter patter of baby mimic on the ship.
It's too much wood creaking.
And Vin.
I would like to do a survival check and see if I see footprints or chewed through,
Chomped.
chonked on items,
Yeah.
chonkied.
Eaten.
Go
What
for
is
it.
the eaten item? Eaten? I don't know how to English right now.
That's
Vin's
okay.
having a
Let the
meltdown
dice
right now.
speak for you.
Things that were eaten along the way.
Yeah, roll your survival check. That makes sense to me. I'm trying to basically track her movements.
La 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 la. 10.
That is a failure.
Fruit of the loom.
Okay, back to the top here. You're not having a whole lot of luck trying to find Mimi. Ron.
Can Ron insight where he thinks Mimi could have gone?
Sure. Roll an insight check.
All right. Come on. What is that? 15.
That is a success.
Whew.
So as you're, you see some of the crew whispering, kind of in a sort of not necessarily shady, but where they don't want people to pick up what they're talking about. You hear something at a bar or something along those lines. But we'll get back to that later. Bryn.
Okay, I'm going to can I use acrobatics to climb up in the way up in the rigging to get like a really good view of the ship to see if I see anything out of place?
That would be more athletics, but you can do athletics.
Oh, okay, never mind. Are mimics arcana like to know about them because they're not natural creatures?
I mean, they are creatures, so you could use nature if you wanted to do that. Arcana is normally about spells or specific magic or something.
Okay, I just want to like, if I were a Mimi,
that would be
where
nature.
would I be? Okay,
Could it be history if you have a high history?
they're the same, so it doesn't really matter.
Mm.
I'm gonna use my inspiration for this.
All
'cause
right.
we need to find her. Ooh, okay. 17.
That's a success. Trying to think where would a mimic go as you're looking around the ship trying to locate her. Valken.
So, how is the sleeping arrangement set up on the ship? Are the cots out in the open? Is there individual
You just got
rooms?
hammocks out in the open, just swung from the ceiling of one of the holds. Kind of open sleeping, like open seating.
I'm gonna use stealth then
Okay.
to kind of creep towards everyone's cots as they're sleeping and just kind of look around without trying to wake them up
Sure.
and see
Roll
if
your
Mimi's
stealth.
maybe underneath somebody's cot or on top of their cot or something. Let's hope for. It's probably not gonna work.
No, with
What
that
is it?
attitude.
6.
Wait. I would like to use my bend of bend of what's it called? Bend of luck to try to help and assist.
That's 2 more sorcery points.
That's cool.
What does that do?
4. You get to add 4 to that number.
So 10.
10's not enough.
Rolls aren't good tonight.
So that is your 4th failure. So with this skill check, you cannot find Mimi.
No.
Oh no!
The alternatives are up to you. Whether you start asking the crew, bring it up to the captain, in whatever way that you'd like. But as for now, you're not going to find her on your own.
Are we still in like not type like initiative, but still skill checking to try to find her with help?
Skill check has failed. So
Okay.
now if you're looking for help, it's going to be a different type of scenario.
Okay, I will ask a crew member, but like using like deception, in a way to like be like, hey, have you noticed anything kind of weird around? Maybe missing items or food for no reason. Like really, playing it off that
No
like
reason.
no
Just-
reason why, just wondering kind of
Just
thing.
roll a deception check for me.
Oh my gosh. What's 6 plus 8?
14.
14?
Yeah, 14's enough for this one. And he goes, well, you find one of the crew members, who you all have been around, long enough. You find, Nelisser, who is a female wood elf, and she goes, well, you know, come to think of it, I am missing my wages from the last take that were in my pack. Not sure where they would have went though.
Just out of curiosity, no reason. What were your wages made out of?
Gold, coin.
Oh, interesting. Cool. Well, I'm just gonna keep asking around, and if I hear anything, I'll let you know if I come across maybe who took it.
Please do, because I don't want a thief on the ship where I'm working.
Oh, sure. Of course not. No one wants that. Nope.
Let me know if you do find anything.
About where were your quarters? Just so I know general area.
She just points to one of the open like hammocks. Same place as
Hey.
yours.
I give her like finger guns as I like back away, and I'm like, cool. And then I back over to Ron and just like, so some missing gold was had in that direction, and I pointed at the same hammock that she pointed to. But does Mimi eat gold?
Not to Ron's knowledge. Mimi loves food, but these guys were talking about some sort of bar, so it could be Mimi if it's a Lentrium bar. So Ron's gonna go talk to them.
Okay.
Sure. You can go saunter over to those individuals.
Greetings, fellow humanoids.
Ain't that a hell of a greeting?
Oh, sorry, Ron does not know your name.
Edmund.
Hello, Edmund.
Hello, tall person.
Yes, they call me Ron.
All right.
Ron was overhearing Edmund speaking about some kind of bar or something strange happening.
I believe you're mistaken.
Oh, maybe you're mistaken, but Ron could really use your help if you wish to discuss about this bar, and Ron will roll persuasion.
Yeah. You do me a favor. Well, yeah, you can roll persuasion. Go for it. I was doing some mental gymnastics in my brain.
19.
Total.
20 total, yep.
All right, listen, keep your voice down. It's just a little bit off the top. If you want to get in on the deal, we can make some sort of arrangement when I sell it.
What do you mean?
Well,
This
it's
bar?
a whole bar of something. It's shiny. It'd probably go at least 15, 20 gold.
Where did you find this bar?
I have my ways.
Ron says in Elven, Mimi bite.
Amazing.
Nothing.
Did you happen to find it in a bag that looks like a leaf?
You're asking a little too much questions.
And if you don't tell Ron now, Ron will bash your head in. And Ron's gonna intimidate.
Shit. Don't come in between
Yeah,
Ron
go ahead
and his
and
baby.
intimidate.
Oh, jeez. A 4.
He just kind of looks you up and down as you're kind of imposing yourself on him. He goes, "Oh, is that so? Well, if you go around threatening to bash people's heads in, I'm sure the captain will take real kind to that. This is my 15th voyage. Who's she gonna believe, me or you?"
Well, if you took it out of Ron's bag, then your head will have to answer.
Who said I took it out of a bag?
You said
Do
you
what
had
you
your
want,
ways.
you kill me, you won't make it off the ship. I'll see to that.
Ron's gonna dangle some food and just go like, Mimi. Ron has more.
No response.
Damn it. Fine, have it your way. Ron walks away, stomping.
I'm taking half your cut now.
Whatever.
All right. What do? You know that, well, this Edmund has procured Mimi, intends to sell the Electrum bar. Nothing happened when you called out to her.
Ron would tell the group. So Edmund has the bar. It could be Mimi, but Mimi did not respond to Ron, not even when Ron had food out. It could be Mimi, or could not, but he clearly stole it.
Was it the same kind of metal that Mimi was?
He did not show me.
You all would know that because you've made these checks before about history, nobody uses Electrum anymore. It used to be currency in the Empire. It's not anymore. An Electrum bar is not something that you would just have or find. So
Right.
the chances of him having an Electrum bar that's not yours is pretty close to zero.
Did he say that it was Electrum?
Yeah, I wasn't. That's what I was trying to get at.
Some
Did
sort
not-
of bar that he clearly did not possess before.
Did you try dangling food?
Yep, Ron did. Ron even speak Elven. So, not sure if it is Mimi, or he just stole some kind of bar.
Which
Well,
one
I
is
know
this
that
guy?
person over there is looking for money too. I wonder if there's like a big stealing ring going around.
Oh, he did say something called skimming off the top. Ron does not know what that means.
Oh, that is a term people use when they're stealing from others.
So it is not when you drink too much ale and there's foam and you skim the top of ale so there's no foam.
Well, you can use that analogy for this. Think of your ale as a large cup of money, gold. And
Why would Ron drink cold?
Ron, bear with me, this is an analogy. Think of it filled with gold.
Okay, so
Then it's overfilled with gold, and then you, as you said,
it's like
skim-
Risa's jar.
Sure, let's say her jar is overfilling to the top. And
Okay.
you can't put any more money in, it keeps falling off. Skimming off the top in this scenario would be where you swipe the rest that can't be, like, you can't close the jar, right? You swipe
Yes.
all of that, and it's just a small amount where they're probably not going to notice, and so it's done in secret.
Falcon, knowing exactly what that means, is just smiling at this explanation.
Bryn is also just standing there smiling like,
So he is stealing?
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
Okay. But stealing is wrong.
yes.
Correct. Well, yeah.
And
It
but
is wrong, Vin.
his crewmate also missing money, so maybe he is stealing from his crew, which is bad.
Yes.
Or Mimi ages.
Sounds like the likely suspect.
Well,
Well, Ron tried to be intimidating, but he looks like a tough guy.
oh, here. Let me look like one of the rough crew people using my I forgot what I am. The other part of my body.
Changeling.
Changeling. Using my-
That was amazing.
I forgot.
You sure you
Last
don't?
week.
You sure you don't want to do good cop, bad cop?
Oh, we could do good. Well, hold on. That's plan B.
Well, could
Plan
you not hint at the lady you talked to that you might know who's been
Oh.
stealing?
Oh.
Because a sailor might carry more weight in a confrontation. That's the problem Ron had.
Wait, so here's two scenarios. I could pretend to be her, or I could let her in on who might have stole it and just see how this plays out from afar and let them kind of go at it.
So to paint the scene, you're all in the hold, huddled in kind of your area where your hammocks are all together. Most of the crew, since it's dark and you're getting ready to sleep now, they're in the hold, kind of open area, except for like the captain, who's in her quarters.
Well, what should we do? Or do we just want to good cop, bad
Probably
cop
just
it?
tell the captain what's going on, and she should fix it, right?
Well,
Oh, he said who would she believe? A guy who went
Oh.
out 15 times or Ron?
That's true. She doesn't like us.
If we rest, Ron has ability to make
didn't we already
people
rest?
speak
Not
the
yet.
truth.
You went to go to sleep and Mimi was gone.
It's a good plan. You could do good cop, bad cop with that special ability as well.
So you all are gonna get a rest in and then pick it up in the morning.
Yep.
All right, easy enough. You all get your night's rest and are refreshed and rejuvenated in the morning. It's been a day, so you're a day closer to Icegarth. Kind of to put some perspective on where you are, as you were in the middle of the Cannabis Sea. You are just basically going under the Great Bridge of Nona that spans between the Tyrian region and Vantis, the one that's miles and miles and miles and miles wide, where you started your journey. So you think about 2 more days and you'll get back to port. So it's a new day. What do you do? People are getting their breakfast ready.
I have a plan.
Yes.
If one person is missing some gold, it's likely that others are as well. So I say we just loudly start being like, I'm missing something. Me too. You know what I mean? People will take notice and be like, yeah, me too.
But wouldn't
Just sit
person
back and let the crew eat each other's up.
wouldn't also a person who stole would pretend to say me too?
Maybe, but then you can use your truth thing and say, okay, everybody in here, step inside and we'll see who is the right one. It's a circle, right? The circle of truth? Oh, it's not the
It
circle.
is
of
more
truth.
like yeah, it is like circle.
Okay. So, here's what we do. I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm missing some of my gold. And then like 5 minutes later, Vin, you have to be like, I'm missing something very personal to me. And then 5 minutes later, Valgan has to be like, oh yeah, me too. And then Ron can be like, okay, we will solve this. Yeah, see? Perfect plan. I'm a genius.
Spot
I
on
don't-
impression.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, so we do
Very
this
good
now.
Gotta work.
impressions. Very good. Okay, well, let me start and see what happened. Bryn will kind of get up like, oh, it's a wonderful morning on the boat. How's it going? Oh, so strange. I thought I left my favorite book right here next to my hammock, and it seems to be gone. How strange. Do I need to do a performance check?
No, you look over and you see that next to your hammock is Undil, and he goes, a book? Well, I haven't seen any books. Maybe take that up with Skullbreaker if you're missing something.
Which one's Skullbreaker? Oh, it's the captain.
Goliath.
It's the Goliath.
Oh no, the Goliath. Okay. And then I'll kind of like smile and lean back. Job well done. Now
And then-
someone else can actually
And then
make this work.
I go and I'm like looking through my bag, and I'm like, oh no, my precious gems, where did they go? And I like look like
Just as Undil like rolled back over, he gets up and goes, if you're missing something, go talk to Skullbreaker.
Who is Skullbreaker?
And he looks at you and then goes, puts his hand way up above his head.
You're Skullbreaker?
No, like this.
Oh.
He's the really tall one. Hold on.
Oh.
Skullbreaker, we got some missing items.
I'm gonna look at Vin and be like,
So you just hear like Skullbreaker making his way through. He's like bent over underneath. And he's like, what you missing?
Precious gems.
What kind of gems?
I don't recall. They were precious though.
All right, what'd they look like? What's the approximate gold value of the missing items?
Let me look through my satchel. And I like look and I'm like, shit.
I'm missing a book.
What kind of book?
It's like a really big book on beekeeping. As I like hide my bag behind me, kind of.
All right, bee book and
A bee book.
miscellaneous
Also,
gems.
the guy over there, I think he said he's missing, or was it a she? She's missing some of her pay.
Yeah, money.
And to add to that, I was carrying around a bar of Electrum. Do you know what Electrum is?
Okay, it's like we can just tell him.
No.
Think of a bar of gold, but more valuable and more rare.
What you bringing a bar of gold on the ship for?
It's not gold, it's
We are
electrum.
traveling adventurers.
What you bringing a bar of not gold on the ship for?
This is what we carry.
Yeah, where are we supposed to leave it?
Personal items. Anyway, all of these items have all of a sudden gone missing, so how do we handle this?
All right, you got missing item, you got missing stuff, and he looks over. No, sir. What you missing? My last excursion's pay. All right. Fuck. Fuck. And he just stomps out of the hold.
I like him
And
so
you
much.
hear him, he's like, Captain!
He's like, I did not have
Captain!
enough coffee today for this bullshit.
Ron's gonna take a look at Edmund and see what he's doing.
Just sitting there trying to look inconspicuous.
Ron's gonna go over to Edmund. Like, they're gonna find out it's you, so you should give Ron the bar. They will not notice if I take it.
They're not gonna find out shit.
Okay.
Maybe it's you.
What about Ron?
Maybe it's you stealing all the stuff.
Oh no, that's not true because you stole the stuff.
I'm gonna go and stand next to Rana and be like, do you want to say that again? And I just like have my axe in my hand and I'm just like looking really tough and I want to do an intimidation.
He just looks, as everyone's kind of looking around and seeing what's going on, and he just says, she's threatening me, you see that? She said she's gonna hit me with her axe and kill me.
I did say I would hit him with my axe. I did not say I would kill him.
This is the truth. Ron was here.
I pretending to be one of the other crew members.
They're
in, like,
all in here though, so
Oh darn! I was gonna pretend with a voice like out in the crowd and be like,
You can do that.
probably deserved it."
sure, you can just yell that, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna yell. But like in their like accent, so that they didn't think it was me.
Sure, yeah.
Like the person in the crowd, like, it was him.
Yeah.
Someone's
Love
like,
it. Love
You
it.
deserved it.
Well, I mean,
you
Edmund's kind
probably
of an
suck.
ass. I don't know if he deserved it or not. Well, he's pretty, good on the ship and such. People start just kind of grumbling, and then a little while back, you see Skullbreaker coming back down. He's like, all right, shut up! Everyone on the deck now!
Mr. Skullbreaker, sir.
Bags.
Shut up!
I said
Have-
check his bags.
We could solve this really easily with magic. We have magic for this.
Sorry, captain's orders now.
Oh shit. Alright, this is not going to work as I was hoping it would.
I mean, what'd you
wanna
think
sure
was gonna
I'm-
happen? You said 5 different people had things stolen.
I want to make sure I'm the
Well-
last one up.
Yeah. So you all can kind of file your way out. If you want to be the last one, Valken, you can.
Just to make sure nobody sneaks anything around.
And everyone is on.
Can I be the last one up to as well? To not last. Sorry, apprentices. The second one last.
We're just
And
like
can I
waiting
take
for each
my-
other on the stairs. Like,
No,
you go.
like. Can I take my B book and stealthily just like throw it?
I mean, just give me a sleight of hand check. But Skullbreaker's making sure everyone goes on the deck. So
I just want to like drop it so that it's
do
not
sleight of
on
hand
me. Since I lied. That book has just disappeared.
what is it?
A natural 20.
What's your total?
22.
Okay. Where do you want to put your book?
In that guy's bunk.
Okay. Easy enough. Everyone goes on the deck
Oh my
and
god.
Skullbreaker's like, all right, Captain, everyone's here on deck. Looks like we got us a bit of a thief on board.
Ooh, can we make him lock the plank if we
And
figure out who it was?
Shut up!
Okay.
And you see Victoria kind of rubbing her eyes, and she's like, need a little bit early for this kind of shit. So who took it? If you tell me now, nothing bad'll happen to you. But you know what happens if I find out myself.
I like under my breath in like a crowd noise, and I'm like, check blah blah blah's bunk. Like
Edmund.
whoever that, yeah,
Edmund.
Edmund's bunk. Check Edmund's bunk.
And then you hear Skullbreaker go, shut up! Shut up! Captain's talking!
And I like cough. Edmund.
And she walks up to you, just kind of staring, like, holding your gaze, and she goes, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, it was Edmund
Edmund, how did you know that?
because he had told us that he stole stuff.
She walks
And I,
over.
like,
Edmund, is
look.
that true? Did you steal from these people? Wasn't me, never stole anything from anybody. Skullbreaker, check his bunk. You just kind of fold his arms like, whatever. And Skullbreaker stomps down the stairs. And you hear just like shit getting tossed. Just like things just like going everywhere. Like he's like, you know, this is the chance I get to fuck shit up, and I'm allowed to do it. And he comes back up and he's holding this book in his hand. He goes, I found B book. I'm sorry. B book. And he points to Bryn.
Oh, hey, that's my book. Oh, I'm so glad you found it. It's very special to me.
And she kind of holds on and
Thank you.
kind of flips to the pages and goes, is this your book?
Yeah, it's my book. I mean, unless you have a whole bunch of crew that are really into beekeeping, and none of them really look like beekeeping sorts to me.
Not that I'm aware of. And she walks over to Edmund and just gets like inches from his face. Well, care to explain that, Edmund? Where's the rest of it? I don't know.
Check his person. Check his person. Search him.
Skullbreaker. And he
look
just
over at
walks
Brandon,
up
I'm
and
like,
just pats him like almost like just smacking him with his like large Goliath hands. They got nothing on him.
What?
Now, Edmund, if you tell me where the things are that I'm looking for, then perhaps we can work it out civilly. Where's the stuff? I swear I didn't take no B book, but I found a bar of silver gold, and well, I put it down in the hold behind some planks. But that's it. That's all I took, and it was out in the open. I thought it was that I could just have it.
Sound like what I told you, Skull Man?
Right, not gold bar.
Not quite.
Right, not gold.
Yes, not cool.
Well, I suppose that we'll take a walk then, shall we?
Oh, this is gonna.
Skullbreaker just kind of grabs his arm, and the captain goes down, and she goes, "Now, kind enough to tell me where it is." And just kind of points over to the corner behind some crates and some things, and she kind of walks back, moves some crates out of the way, and kind of lifts up just like some planks, finding kind of a false hole in the floor, and pulls out what looks to be a bar of electrum and just sets it down, and then a decent little stash of probably like 25 or 50 gold. And she kind of walks up to Edmund and just towering over him and just staring him like inches from his face. "Now that wasn't so hard, was it? All you had to do was just tell the truth and it shall set you free." And he goes, "What? I didn't mean." And she guts him with a dagger. Pulls it out,
Start
wipes it off on his
doing
shirt,
a
and puts it
whistle.
back.
I'm like, wee woo wee woo wee woo woo.
I'm gonna run over there and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm gonna start trying to give him some healing tonic and,
Oh, no,
and
you
bandaging
don't.
his wound.
Listen, we've got a tight crew here, and if I have people stealing from other people, we can't have that. It's part of the rules.
Then kick him off the ship. You didn't need to do that.
That's the rules of the sea. Toss him over, Skullbreaker.
Wait, before you toss him over, someone else is missing some pay. Maybe he has some change in his pocket?
I'm assuming it's in that pile there that I pulled out of the little hidey hole.
Mm-hmm.
She
And
kind
that's,
of addresses the rest of the ship. Let that be a lesson to all of you. 1 excursion, 10 excursions, 20 excursions. You don't steal from your crew. If I can't trust you, you're not worth it. You all know the rules. Finish your breakfast. And she just walks up back to her quarters. And that is where we'll take a break. So,
Ron, grab the
got
bar
dark.
quick.
scavengers, pirates. I mean, you're not dealing with high society here. So
Lesson learned.
we will be back here in just a few. So go get some snacks and go stretch your appendages, and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.